I saw this clip going rather viral over on X of Pastor Mark Driscoll, who I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's not ashamed of saying things how they actually are. And especially when it comes down to the Bible, he's one of the very few pastors that actually does that. There was a bit of controversy at a conference that he was at. He was kicked out because he called out the Jezebel spirit, I believe it was from memory, that it was in the auditorium. And they kicked him out, but then they brought him back. I think it was. Guys, if you remember it more than I do, please correct me in the comment section below. But that's how I remember it, at least. And since then, I've been following him, and I love his takes. I've been following his YouTube. He's made some pretty interesting stuff, and this man knows what's up. He's not a dummy at all. He's actually quite intelligent. He knows his Bible, and he's not backwards about being forwards either. And if he sees something that is wrong, he calls it out. Very similar to what I do. So, Pastor Mark, thank you for doing just that. And this clip that is doing the rounds is Pastor Mark Driscoll. He's actually starting to call out now Candace Owens, because in Pastor Mark Driscoll's very own words, she has officially lost touch with reality. Have a watch of this.
She's lost touch with reality. You know, honestly, from a pastoral perspective, I feel sorry for her. I pray for her. If she has a husband who is present or she's got a pastor who cares, she needs to get an evaluation. And honestly, she needs to take a break, because she's become obsessed with Charlie Kirk in a way that is really unhealthy for a married woman. And also, she's tried to make herself the de facto defender and spokesperson for the legacy of Charlie Kirk. And that is the sole discretion of his wife, Erica, who did an incredible job on her interview this week. And she's a really remarkable, incredible, grieving widow. This is the problem with the internet, is the crazier you are, the more attention you get, but the less helpful you are.
The crazier you are on the internet, the more attention you get, but the less helpful you are. I love that line. Brilliant, isn't it? But from a pastoral perspective, Pastor Mark has looked at this and gone, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for a woman like Candace Owens to be obsessing over her so-called friend that she more than likely didn't speak to for quite some time before his passing. Otherwise, she would reveal some recent text messages. Why haven't we gotten that? We've only gotten old text messages, apparently. And even then, like, I'm still not 100% on them, but nevertheless, I'm not going to be stuck up on text messages. Nonetheless, that's beside the point. She is obsessed with being the sole benefactor, according to Pastor Mark, and he's spot on about this, trying to prove who killed Charlie Kirk. But yet, it's not about who killed Charlie Kirk, is it? It's more about how more provocative, how crazy and more of a statement you can make. The crazier the statement, the more clicks you get, but the less helpful you've become. That's evident. And it's amazing to me that so many people actually listen to the dingbat. They listen to this woman that is not actually helping, but actually doing damage to Charlie's reputation and Charlie's legacy. She's doing damage to the lawsuit. She's doing damage to the criminal investigation. She's trying to get a mistrial by the looks of things. And if she does get that, then she can go, oh, I knew it all along, because I've been accusing so many of these other people, like Turning Point USA hasn't accused Tyler Robinson at all. Doesn't believe that he did it. It's so utterly despicable. I mean, I made a video yesterday based around her response to this woman, Kerry Smith, who made a video about Candace Owens being a cult leader. And she had a go at her. So I'd only imagine Pastor Mark is doing a very courageous thing here. See, the ones that are willing to call out nonsense and stupidity and ding battery, I call it, are the courageous ones, like Pastor Mark, for example. They're not afraid to call things for what they really are. And yes, they're more than likely going to be put in the firing line, because the moment Candy sees this, she's more than likely going to make a video about it, because she made a video about in yesterday's show. It was about this pastors going against her and Tucker Carlson. Apparently they're being paid a lump sum of money by Israeli influencers to say negative things. Now, I, for one, do not believe for 1 second that Pastor Mark Driscoll is being paid off to say any of this sort of stuff, because what he's saying is pretty much the exact same thing that I've been saying and quite a few other people have been saying, and I don't think for 1 second they're being paid off. You know how I know that? Because I've got a pretty big audience too, and I haven't been contacted for any kind of money whatsoever. And if I was, I would let you guys know about it, and I wouldn't even take the money because I'm not about that. But it's interesting to me how they love accusing people for saying the truth, saying the right things, and then automatically you're getting paid. How much money are you getting paid to go against Candace Owens because Candace Owens is apparently the arbiter of truth? No. Pastor Mark has got the right approach here. He goes from a pastoral perspective, it's unhealthy, and he doesn't know about her husband. It seems like George doesn't really have too much of a say. It's like Candace wears pretty much the majority of the pants, or who knows what their marriage is like. But it doesn't seem healthy at all. And yet she's telling Ali Beth Stuckey yesterday she needs to take a break. Ali Beth was closer to Charlie in his last days than Candace was. You know how I know that? Because Ali Beth shared recent, I'm talking like a week, text messages of Charlie Kirk encouraging her to go on Jubilee and do the Jubilee debate. So, I mean, if Candace was really that close, wouldn't she share recent text messages? No. No. But Ali was, and she goes after Ali because Ali had the courage to stand up and say, people need to just seriously use their brains for once. Like Mark is doing right here. People need to use their brains and realize that someone that is saying something very crazy and provocative, it doesn't mean that they're right. And you've got to be very careful in this landscape because the provocateurs have now taken control. It's alarming. It actually is alarming to me. Just how much these people have taken control of the internet. Seem like a coincidence to you? Perhaps? I don't know. I really don't know. But I think if we follow people like Pastor Mark Driscoll, I think it's going to be a little bit better for us because at least he makes sense. At least he has the courage to call things for what they really are. I miss those days because unfortunately people just want to do things that seem provocative for clicks and for money rather than doing what's right and what makes sense. It's sad. So as Pastor Mark said, she needs to take a break and she needs to get back in touch with reality, eh? Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.